A little campsite on the top of Rocky Mountain. Yes, Rocky Mountain Way. You guessed it. This is where he grew up. This just never gets old. I'm at the top of Rocky Mountain, heading towards Trey Mountain, Georgia. The view from on top of Trey Mountain, 4,250 feet. I can't breathe. Good morning, everyone. I'm at Trey Mountain Shelter. I missed my recap last night. Sorry, I was very beat. I'm up in a mountain. I'm at 4,300 feet. It was a rough night. It was blowing. Oh, it was blowing. I got to be in a shelter. As you can see, I'm in the shelter right now. And I did not very many miles yesterday, maybe only 11, but two massive mountains, Rocky Mountain and Trey Mountain. Yeah, I'm on the last one here in the shelter. Everybody left. There's a big rainstorm coming in tonight. I have an option of going about 8 or going about 11.7. A lot of downhill today. Yeah, so I don't know what to do. Everybody left early, and I think they're going to go for the one at 11.7. So I might bail out early, go to the one at 8, just to guarantee myself a spot, because that rainstorm's going to come in really strong. I mean, it's going to be a big one. And although I'm sure my tent will hold up like a champ, I just don't want to be sloshing around in the mud first thing in the morning if I can avoid it. But we'll see. I mean, if I get to the first shelter really early and I still have lots of daylight left, I don't mind hiking in the rain. I don't like sleeping in the rain. I have a great tent. Not concerned about that. Just trying to keep everything dry, you know, the condensation and stuff. We're gonna have like 3 or 4 days of rain, so I gotta ride this out and make sure I get through the 3 or 4 days back to where we have some sunshine and I can dry my stuff out, you know. Anyways, I don't know how many views I'll get you. As you can see, it's a dense, thick fog. Now, mind you, we're up over 4,000 feet. I found it a little difficult to breathe. Hiking when I was at rest, like right now, sure, that was great, but now we're going down 1,500 feet today, and it's very cold, very windy. It's probably about 45, not even 50 degrees right now. Since I didn't give you a recap last night, well, actually the legs don't feel bad. This is where I slept. There are 2 other people here, even though this is actually room, they call this room for 8. If you put 8 in this, I just guarantee you'll be elbow to elbow. Gorgeous little place. I wish you could see through the trees, past the fog. You would have a spectacle to behold, I promise you. It's a very nice shelter. Privy's over there. Everybody calls them privies. It's a British term. I don't know why they use that here in America, but we're pretty much on the top of a mountain here. That's why we had so much wind last night. My neighbor here that was sleeping in the shelter had left something in his pocket of his pack, and I guess the mice got to it and destroyed that pocket, got into the food that he had, the snacks or whatever, and he was really upset this morning. Just about every one of these shelters has mice in it. You have to be really careful not to give them any temptation, and they'll generally leave you alone. Although a few days ago, a guy woke up and found that the mice had chewed the bottom of his sleeping bag while he was sleeping. All the down was out, blowing all around, and there goes a $600 sleeping bag. I got lucky so far. Might be another reason to consider staying in the tent. The mice generally go to the shelter and not the tents. So that's it, guys. I'm gonna head out soon. It's about 7:30, like I was saying. I'll probably be out of here by about 8:30 at the latest, and a lot of downhill today. So, and we're coming up very quickly on the North Carolina border. So, goodbye, Georgia. We're done with Georgia. It was amazing. Georgia's amazing. Big shout out to GATC, the Georgia Appalachian Trail Conservancy. Trails were perfect. Conditions were perfect. I'm really impressed. If the rest of it's like this, I'll be happy. Okay, let's see. Deep Gap Shelter. It's my home for tonight. Hello? Two-story. Hey guys, I don't know if you can see this or not, but we're on the other side of Bly Gap, and thankfully the leaves aren't on the trees. That mist that's completely covering all the valleys, you can only see the tops. Led Zeppelin, Misty Mountain Hop. Mm-hmm. You're looking at the Misty Mountains. Good morning, guys. Well, very cold night. Big rainstorm last night at Deep Gap. Left Deep Gap, heading towards Dick's Gap, where I'm going to take a narrow, go in back into Helen, splitting a room 3 ways with 2 other people, and having a warm night. Absolutely gorgeous, but also a very tough stretch of hike. 3 days I'll be in North Carolina. 4 days Franklin. Hey everybody, groceries here. Well, it's a nice sunny afternoon and quite a bit's happened. So let me get you caught up to date. Came out of Helen after that dog bite. Had a bit of a rough time with my leg. Was going kind of slow and gingerly. Got dropped back off at Unicoi, started hiking, and then I ran into Coltrane again. He's the guy with the long hair and beard that I spent some time with back in at Hawk Shelter. And his dad, he got off trail. He got off trail, and his son Coltrane went on. So, anyways, he was hiking with a guy named Easy Rock, and Easy Rock is a wealth of knowledge. Because this is his 4th attempt at doing the AT. So we spent a couple days together, and we got to Dix Creek Gap a few miles back, and they had decided they wanted to go back into Helen, and had invited me to go there and take a 0. So I guess that's 2 zeros now for me, which is not a bad thing. Zeros are never a bad thing. Anyways, so I went back and oh wow, I ate like a pig. Had some beer and really enjoyed myself. So then we hitched back to Dix Creek Gap this morning and started hiking. We're just going to do a few miles because we kind of lost half the day. So we're going to go to Plum Orchard shelter. But there's a situation kind of coming up that we have to sort of deal with, and that is the weather. By Saturday night, well, actually on Saturday night, it's supposed to go down into the teens. That's Fahrenheit. It's supposed to go down into the teens and snow, 6 inches of snow. But the wind chill, it's probably going to be close to 0. 0 is in fact, what I'm told, minus 17 Celsius. And it's going to be at elevation, windy, Yeah, so, oh, am I geared for it? No, I'm not. I do have an extra layer that I picked up at mountain crossing. And I also have a liner, which apparently adds 25 degrees. That's debatable, but anyway, it is much warmer. I will attest to that. So, with my 20-degree quilt, my 25-degree liner, I'm hoping it's enough. We also all talked about having a big fire and possibly cowboy camping by the fire. Cowboy camping is when you don't have any shelter. You just sleep on the ground. No tent, no bivvy, no hammock. Just lie on the ground by the fire to stay warm. However, if it's a snowstorm and we're staying warm and the snow hits the heat of the fire and then just turns into water and gets us all wet, well, we'll cross that when we get to it. But we're going to brave through. We expect to cross the state line into North Carolina very shortly. Within, I think, 3 days, I think? Oh no, not even that, 2 days. Because of the short one. And we're going to resupply in Franklin. Get back on trail, go up to Knock, resupply there, and I might have to get myself a new pair of shoes. Last year, I put about 500 miles in these shoes, and I wasn't just going to go buy new ones. I wanted to wear these ones out first, so I gotta say they're on their last legs. When I start feeling discomfort in my feet, I know it's time. And they're ripping and shredding a bit, so it's time. The new Lone Peak 6s are out. That's the shoe I use. I use the Ultra. I like to feel the ground below my feet. They have very skinny, narrow soles, so you can feel every pebble, every rock. But you can also feel more secure. You can, you just know when you're secure. Look at this, how pretty is this? Nice little stream. I could get water, but there's lots of water at the shelter, and it's only about 3 miles away, so I'm good for water. So anyways, that's my plans. That's what we got going. First day in a while. Love these rhododendron little tunnels. Nothing like Georgia. Just gorgeous. The view from atop Buzzard Knob. Bit of a blowdown. What? Best maintained trail I've ever seen. Hey guys, daily recap. I am at Plum Orchard shelter. It's about 4 miles past Dix Creek Gap. I stopped here for a particular reason. We had originally had a plan, the three of us, to stop here because we only had half a day. They pushed on. They went by themselves to do another 5 miles. They've only got about an hour of light left, but they didn't want to stay at a shelter, which is cool. Anyway, but my reasoning was I got another 8 miles, so they're going to go and do 5 more miles and then only do 3 miles tomorrow. I don't think they're going to do 3. They're probably going to do more, and that's great. So I think we're kind of parting ways. We split up the food and everything, and they took off. Because I went back to Helen for yesterday and took another 0 there, I'm really behind my schedule. So I'm going to start really pushing my miles. Definitely got to push my miles. I feel good, and I'm ready to do it. Again, my big concern, and I got to say this, is Saturday night. Saturday night, it's going down to like 5 degrees with the wind chill. That's a little crazy. That I might have a difficult time with because I don't think I'm geared for it, quite honestly. So what I might do is sleep all day at the shelter before and just hike all night, hike right through the cold spell. Let it get back up into like the 40s the next day. And then sleep, like just sleep during the day. It's going to mess up my sleep pattern, but this is for me going to be a real issue. There is no bailout point. There's nothing. I mean, short of getting into North Carolina and Franklin, there's nowhere to stop prior to it or at it. So I'm just going to go there. I'm going to try to get into that shelter and just hunker down the best I can. You know, heat up my bottles like I was doing with my other hikes. I hope you're not hearing this too loud. I'll move this away. What's my recap of the day? Really good, really good. I felt really good. It was a bit slow start. I felt a little sluggish out of the gate. We didn't even get on trail till like 12:30, so I knew it was only going to be half a day anyways, which is good, which is a good way to break back in after a 0. But you know, it's what you got to do. You hike your own hike. Everybody says it all the time. That's fine. And so this is what's comfortable for me. 8.1 tomorrow, up just past Bly Gap. There's a tree at Bly Gap I want to see. And if I keep going on after that, there's a shelter. The guys say they want to meet there, but I don't think they're going to settle for just doing 2 for a whole entire day. I think they want to be in Franklin for the storm Saturday. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it, but I'm going to get up early in the morning and try to be out of here about 8 o'clock and do a full day. And if I happen to pass them, that's fine. We'll hook up down the trail. No worries. Really nice scenery. You've probably already seen it. Nice climbs. I'm going to miss Georgia. I'm going to miss Georgia. This is it. I've only got 1 more day in Georgia. And, but I'm excited to see what North Carolina has. You know, so a little sad about that, but at the same time I have to push on. There's so much more to this trail. And, yeah. So anyways, I'm going to call it a night. Going to just make myself a hot chocolate and going to call it a night. And there's a couple people coming in I want to get to know. And we'll talk tomorrow. Okay. Goodbye, Georgia. You kicked my butt. And I love you for it. Hope to be back soon sometime. The famous tree at Bly Gap. The twisted tree. Pretty spooky looking. Quick update. Spent last night at Bly Gap, up on the top level, overlooking the mountains. I knew weather was coming in. I didn't know quite how bad. I knew there was going to possibly be some snow and temperatures down to about 14. Had no worries about that, really. However, it was the way it kind of progressed. Got a little kind of nasty. Had good cell coverage. It started off being windy and then raining, then sleet, then snow, which just accumulates on the tent. I mean, I had big sheets of ice, had to keep knocking it off during the night. Didn't get any sleep at all. Gear worked perfectly. Had to warm up a bottle to keep inside with me. Kept my filter, my electronics, everything else with me. I've still got 4 layers on right now. That's why I kind of look like I'm all bulked up. But I'm in town, so I actually got down to the next gap today. I did a lot today. I did like 14, 15 miles, and then I just shuttled into town, and took a room. I pushed a lot of miles, and I really needed a good night's sleep. The storm that started last night, that cold weather snap, is going to continue on into tomorrow. I don't mind it. Like when I'm hiking, it's actually great temperature to hike in. It's, sleeping's a little uncomfortable at times, sometimes, but hey, you know what? It's all part of the adventure. I had bought a liner in Unicoi Gap, really happy with it. Oh, wow, did it ever, as soon as you get in it, you can just feel the heat coming, back to you, back to your body. It just reflects it right back to you. So really good, really happy. Still got lots of food, don't really have to concern myself with that. I'd like to catch up with Cold Train and Easy Rock, if they'll have me. I imagine they're probably a few miles ahead of me by now. Those are the guys I shared a room with back in Helen. We were hiking together for a few days. They took off ahead while I stayed back at one of the shelters. They pushed on, and they went to Muskrat, and I stayed at Bly. I wanted more shelter, and I was in a valley, so I thought, you know what? I took the choice that was good for me, and that's it. I don't generally want to do this kind of format where I'm talking to you and you just see me. I'd rather show you all the views and everything and music and something cinematic. But anyway, that's the update. So we'll see you tomorrow.